What we're going to show today is how to install the Eagle Performance Series remote display indicator. The first thing we do is we'll want to remove the Heiko strain relief right here. I'm using a Heiko tool, but you can use channel locks. Will do the same thing. It might scratch the strain relief a little bit, but it'll work. But you just compress it and let go, and it'll pop out. And just take this part off, and now the cable will move freely. After we remove the strain relief from the charge cable, we'll remove all the screws from the case in order to open it. I've got most of them out, got the last two remaining here on the top. And if you'll bring the charger over to the edge of a table, you can pivot it back and it'll lay down in the main label on the front of the enclosure will retain it so you can work with it easily. At this point, I'm going to remove the two large silver screws on the back of the main circuit board. Once you've done this, it'll allow the board to pivot back freely so that you can get good access to the IDC connector for the LED pins. So we'll just lay the board back like this. At that point, you can remove the red connectors, one from the main circuit board and then this one down here on the LED circuit board. We're ready to install the cable for the remote display indicator. So the first thing we do is we want to fish the cable through the hole in the back of the enclosure, same hole that the charge cable comes out of. We bring the cable back past the board. It's important that it's plugged correctly on the pin. So what you would want to do is bring the connector around behind the circuit board and match up the pins and insert it into it locks. If you insert it incorrectly, it won't lock, and also the LEDs would not work correctly. At this time, we will want to, at the same time, pull the cables slightly inward so that the board can meet back up with the mounting bracket and line up the holes. And we're going to replace our two silver screws that hold the main circuit board in place. And now, before we replace the lid, we're going to put the new strain relief that we provided. It has a larger access in order to accommodate both cables, so we'll show you how to put that back in. Okay, we have the LED cable installed now, and it's just important to make sure you've got most of the excess slack removed, but you don't want to pull the cables too tightly, because when you put the new strain relief on, it's actually going to push the cables back inside slightly. So this is the new larger strain relief. It says 31-2 on it, just to make sure that you have the correct one. And you want to put this over both cables and locate the bottom piece where it slides up inside. Well, you probably can't see this, but there's a little tab that slides back up inside the main enclosure. And then we will, of course, I'm using my Heiko tool, which, and again, you can use channel locks to do this, just to compress this bottom tab up into the main housing. And move this back up into the hole and release it. You can see how now it holds it. So now we've got the cables both fished in there correctly, and all the slack is removed so that everything will stay within the case without bending or running against anything sharp. And at this point, you just simply replace the lid, and we're ready to put all the case screws back in.